I was introduced to glass through a glass pipe. Glass was such an industrial process that for someone to make a pipe to smoke out of was just kind of crazy.
It's an art scene, and I think there's a culture that surrounds it. I'd say that's the best way to describe it. It's not quite a pipe scene. It's a collective of artists who have the same like-minded interests, and they want to create and express themselves through glass.
I wasn't even really familiar with any competitive art at all. I didn't really know if that was possible or not, but it seemed really natural. And the way we would have our competitions in our shop, it just seemed really easy and very flowy, and it worked great, and it was a lot of fun. And it was we kind of saw it as if we can make a real competition that that's not just in our shop, it involves the whole community. How it could be a great way to celebrate pipe making as well. I mean, you look at other industries, like I don't know, skateboarding or surfing or whatnot, and there's always competitions, and they celebrate the sport, they celebrate whatever it is that you're competing against, and we thought the pipe industry really needed it.
Welcome to the 10th edition of the Bern Gallery's Pipe Classic, a glassblowing competition that takes place the third week in September every year, right here at the Bern Gallery at 135 Main Street in Burlington, Vermont. It's the only competition of its kind for a number of reasons that we'll get to when we get inside.
What feels like now another life. My wife and I were on the road, and we traveled thousands and thousands of miles. It was like 1,500 miles a week for 5 years, selling glass and selling my friends glass and all the pipes we made, and so we're touring around looking at all these stores, and we knew in our heart we could do as well as some of these places we were seeing, if not a lot better. So we finally one day decided to open the Bern Gallery, and that would be our home base for everything that was yet to come.
Each artist is allotted 12 hours broken into 2 6-hour shifts. Over the course of each 6-hour shift, the artist has to do all of their work either in their booth or at some other space within our gallery. In the past, we've had people out in the alleyway, we've had people out front, we've had people in the basement, but everything needs to be done here. Here we have Max Kine setting up for the first heat. And as you can see, the space is limited. It's a new space for these artists. They're not used to working in this space, and it adds a really different dimension of Pipe Classic, sets it apart from a lot of other flame-offs. And another thing that sets it apart is the intimate nature, how, you know, the fans can just walk right up and see how it's done and kind of get the trade right from the artist.
With fairness in mind, we had to make sure that every competitor had the same experience. So every competitor starts at the same time and finishes at the same time. The competition starts at Monday at 4 o'clock. First heat goes from 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And then, you know, now also we have a couple of houses kind of on the lake, a couple miles away. And all the competitors stay there, and a lot of people who have been coming to the event forever stay there. And it's a pretty interesting scene. It's a lot of partying. It's really long. It lasts forever. And if you're a competitor, you know, you just finished your first heat, going back to that house and competing the next day almost felt impossible. So we rent a hotel room for each competitor the night they're competing. So they finish at 10. They can be sequestered and go to their hotel room and be away from the madness that is the houses. And then they have to be back at the gallery where time starts at 9 a.m. the next day. Goes till 3 o'clock. And then we have about a half hour to get that person out of the station, about another half hour to get the next competitor in. And, you know, we got the pit crew comes out and changes everybody up. And as long as everybody's starting and finishing at the same time, then it remains fair. And that's how we saw it.
Everything is like a little bit more like clockwork. Like people get in there, do their work, and then they are gone, you know, and they're just like in and out. And they've got that shuffle, that musical torches thing down really well. So I kind of like how Pipe Classic only has 3 stations. Like almost every other flame off, everyone's set up at the same time. I think every other one actually. So, you know, being able to watch your friends work after you is really nice, you know, because normally you're working, you don't see anything till the next day. And it's just like, you kind of feel like you're a spectator and a competitor at the same time, which is like, it's a really nice feeling. Like you didn't miss anything, you know?
So we start the competition, and, you know, again, back to year 1 and 2, and there's 3 glass blowing stations in the Bern Gallery. And I'd seen demonstrations before, and, you know, everybody's kind of lined up all on one table, and everybody's blowing glass next to each other, and I felt like it needed to be more intimate. Little did I know what I was creating was like a form of torture on all of us. But the Pipe Classic lasts an entire week. So there's only 3 competitors going at any one time. And I think one of the new slogans for Pipe Classic has to be, you got to see it for yourself. Because explaining to somebody what it's like after you spend an entire week being a part of this competition, whether you're a spectator or a competitor, it doesn't matter. By the end of it, you're a shell of yourself. And it's almost like you have to sacrifice yourself for this event. It's kind of how it feels. And that way, when, you know, everybody's driving home, they look at the person next to them and they just kind of say, like, what the fuck was that? You know, like, what just happened?
Last year, I made my piece Monday and Tuesday, and at times I thought, like, oh, maybe if I go later in the week, you'll be able to see what other people make, and maybe that'll like get you amped up to push it a little harder. But when you come here, you have something in mind, and you're pushing it hard no matter what. So I think it was kind of really nice to go Monday and Tuesday and get it out of the way and not see anybody else's piece and just kind of like think of mine and focus on mine and make sure mine came out the way I wanted it to come out.
Take into account that there comes a time we need to let it go. Join the ride. Even if it's not what you had in mind, let it ride. I'll admit I barely know that the floor. Never been one for news. Living inside my head. But I have my desire to change when I try to hide it. Oh, I can't control my ways when I try to care. When I try to I would be the first one to accept my faults. Ignorance is written nearly all of my thoughts. But I have my desire to change when I try to hide it. Oh, I can't control my ways when I try to care. When I try to care. Even though I hide it. Oh, I can't control my ways when I try to care. When I try to care. Take into account that there comes a time when you need to let it go. Join the ride, join the ride. Even if it's not what you had in mind, had in mind. Take into account that there comes a time when you need to let it go. Join the ride, join the ride. Even if it's not what you had in mind, prove that you can see your life through.
15 seconds. Just kidding. Hang on. That workout? You done? You quit early? Well done, man. Woo! Yeah, babe. That was really fun, dude. That was back there. Yeah. Yo, hit that shit.
13 years ago, I bought a pipe in Burlington here, and a few years later, started coming to the Pipe Classic here, just as like a spectator, just like there are a million other kids here. And over time, I met Tito and Michaela and became friends with them, and I said I want to do this someday. And a few years later, you know, they invited me to come. So that was last year. And last year was just, it was like a big year for me. I had like, my wife was about to have a baby. It was a lot. And this year, she's almost 1 now. I do seem a lot more relaxed, a lot more connected to the Pipe Classic. And I do feel really comfortable around all these people. And I feel like it's a nice growing family. I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Drop your bags at the door, just leave it all outside. Drop your bags at the door, you come with me, I'll take you for a ride. Leave your bags at the door, leave it all outside. Drop your bags at the door, come with me, I'll take you for a ride. Cause we all feel this way sometimes, yeah.
felt good. Day one went well. Day 2 went better. Yeah.
Feels good. I'm warm, I'm hot, I'm sticky. It's a good feeling to be finished.
Yeah, congratulations.
Probably the best feeling. Thanks, man. Okay. Better time than last year, yeah.
To get it out of the way in the beginning, huh?
It is. I'm glad I'm done. Everybody has to live up to me.
Set the pace, set the pace.
That's right, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Great work.
I feel it. I couldn't do it without you guys.
I know, it's just like...
It's not up to me. That's the beauty of it. So, yeah, let's do video vote. Okay, you can go. So, Corinne just finished her cold working, and when I went out there, I realized what she had. It was a platform for the piece, but the stand or the pedestal, whatever it is, has to be made in the 12 hours unless it's not part of the body of work. And even though the shape was basic, the backdrop was cut into the shape of Vermont. So the committee definitely has to vote on that, and whether or not it's fair. So we'll see.
You can definitely see the progression of the work from the first year to this year because of all the different techniques and the tools that we have at our disposal now. Like, you know, the very first Pipe Classic, nobody used the Delta Mag, and now this Pipe Classic, guys have Delta Mags in them. There's, you know, tools that we use nowadays that are just common that you never seen 10 years ago, you never knew existed. So it's really awesome to see the progression of the work that's getting done in the Classic. The guys just go so big, it's awesome.
The first Pipe Classic, it was just glass blowing. It was just glass pieces. There was no crazy tools. There was no really out-of-the-box techniques I was seeing. And then that quickly changed. As Pipe Classic went on, the committee was constantly having to vote on whether or not this tool or this technique would be fair, and some really outside-of-the-box stuff, you know. And one of the first things was sandblasting. Sandblasting became really popular very early on, you know, around Pipe Classic 2. And we don't want to hold anybody back in Pipe Classic. We want every piece to be as great as it can be, and also be a good example of the competitor's style. So we decided that any tool goes. You can bring any tool you want to Pipe Classic or use any tool you want. And you can actually stop time during your cold working part of your competition. So this last year, Berserker wanted to, he was going to do a bunch of sandblasting and image work on his piece. And we don't have a sandblaster on site, so actually Kirby has let us use his sandblaster over all these years.
Brian. I'm letting you know now. You catching this moment?
Actually didn't even think about having developed my own picture in the contest. I was so worried about the tube prep and concentrating on that. And then about 2 weeks ago, it dawned on me that I wasn't going to be able to bring a pre-made stencil for the sandblasting process. And
Yeah, it was an issue just because I don't have it. I needed to take the photograph on my tablet, and then I didn't have Adobe Illustrator on my tablet. That was on a really old computer.
Yeah.
And we had Wi-Fi connection problems, and yeah, it did create some pretty stressful moments where I had basically the people running the show looking at me, asking me if I had a plan B if this didn't work. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a fucking clown piece without a clown on it. Like,
Feet grip the floor. All I want is someone.
I knew it was gonna happen just because I'm not really a computer guy and I'm relying on it for doing my artwork. So, but the issue just came in with having to do that on the road, and there was a lot of unperceived problems that I wasn't ready for. So, luckily they give you 2 years.
Stranger you are, even though it seems that I've known you all of this life that we're in. Tonight, baby, where have you been? Well, you made an offer, kept refused. You made an offer, won't refuse.
My name's Brian Sirk. I go by Berserker. I blow glass in Colorado, out Gunnison, Colorado. I've been blowing glass since '96, and it's an honor to be here at Pipe Classic. It's always a cross between things I really like pop culture. I'm a fan of Andy Warhol, and being able to take a picture and kind of make it your own.
High in the clouds, somewhere taking flight. Well, you made an offer, kept refused. You made an offer, won't refuse. I can't leave you now. I can't leave you now. I'm in your grasp. I can't leave you now. I can't leave you. It'll be my last. I can't leave you now. I can't leave you now. I can't leave you now.
I practiced this time, and I'd never practiced before, so I didn't get all the way through my practice piece, but I got like a little over halfway, and it definitely helped me a lot to kind of know what I was getting into a little bit more, because past Pipe Classics, I wasn't able to really like finish my piece the way I wanted to, and I got a lot closer to finishing my piece the way I wanted to this year than any other year, probably my best flame-off piece here anyways. Like, it's hard, you know, 12 hours is a short amount of time, and the pressure is pretty intense here, more than any other flame off I've done. It's like, just because the rules are very cut and dry, and like, this is how it is, you know, and it makes sense the way they have the rules. You know, everyone's like, oh, I wish I could have backstack tubing or like line tubing already made. But, you know, I see why they make it the way they did, you know, because like as soon as you add your signature on something and then that's allowed in the contest, it's kind of an advantage, you know, like could be unfair sometimes. So that's the whole thing, is they're all about fairness, and I really like that factor. I like the fairness factor, but it is a challenge, you know, not to be able to bring any prep. It's pretty intense.
I've been living too fast. 'Cause these memories won't last. The world all around us is slowly unfolding. I've been living too fast.
I do think it helps, you know, even if it doesn't prove it to the rest of the world, I think it helps prove it to each other that we are a legitimate, you know, art form and a force to be dealt with, you know. And even, yeah, just coming here does, even in my own, you know, how I measure my own success, it's definitely one of those things that, you know, helps me tell myself, man, you're making it, you know.
13 minutes.
Got it. Got it.
How many minutes I got?
2, exactly.
Yeah.
50 seconds.
How many seconds left?
30.
Oh my god.
As always.
I can't believe I did it in that time. It's fucking crazy, dude. I never do that kind of shit.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, stick the joint on. All right, now go in and fucking pull them out. That was crazy as fuck, dude.
Killed it.
This year is kind of, last year a couple of us went out for a skate and that was really fun. This year we got like a professional skateboarder also making a pipe in the competition. So it's gonna be fun to go skate with Eugene tomorrow and kind of like connect with everybody on like a real friendship type of level and have other experiences and other conversations outside of the glass, which is nice. I like that. It's sometimes glass gets a little old, just constantly talking about color and things like that. So it's been a good week. The weather is beautiful and tomorrow's the skate session. We're excited.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I feel better, so much better. Since I laid my burden down, I feel better, so much better. Since I laid my burden down. Well, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory.
I was feeling really stressed to come out, and then like as soon as I got here, all that disappeared, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm in Vermont. This place is beautiful, and I'm at the Pipe Classic with all my friends. Like they're really cool, and everyone's just killing it this year too. Like it's just fun to watch and partake, of course.
And there was none as far as I knew. I didn't know of any other competition or anything like it. And so we just took it from there. We had to come up with a name for it. And as kids, everybody in my shop, we actually all watched the same movie when we were little kids. It was a movie called North Shore. And the movie documented, and it was kind of cheesy, but it documented this kid from Arizona who went out to Hawaii and he competed in this surf competition. And the surf competition was called the Pipe Classic.
I'm going with you. Oh, really? Yeah. You got any pointers? About pipe? Yeah, you're not ready for...
It took place at Pipeline in Hawaii, and we loved the name. We're like, oh, Pipe Classic, how perfect would that be for this competition we're gonna have? And so this is when not everybody was online at this point. It was a long time ago. I don't even think I owned a computer, and so I went over to my friend's house and we started searching domain names, and it turned out Pipe Classic it was available completely available. It wasn't owned by anything. So it turns out the Pipe Classic, the original surf competition, was sold out to what is now called the Billabong Pipe Pro. So Pipe Classic, and the name Pipe Classic, since it was before the internet, all the domain names were available. So it was perfect. We were like, let's just take that, and Pipe Classic doesn't exist anymore. Now we'll bring it back, and then Pipe Classic was born.
12 hours is tough. Most of my pieces that I really am proud of take about 70 to 120. So trying to design a piece that I felt didn't like dumb one of my pieces down to make in 12 hours, that was a little tricky. But once I figured it out, I was really, comfortable with my choice.
Yeah, the rules are somewhat strict, and when you're getting into it, they're really confining because you're like, man, how am I going to do my thing at this show where you have that 12-hour time limit and you have to make everything here besides anything that was crucible pulled, which definitely adds another dynamic. But just knowing everybody else has to deal with those same things makes it, a more fun challenge to deal with, I guess.
Past month or so for me has been kind of nice because I've just been making whatever I want at the time of the moment. And these caterpillars, I can only say they probably came from like the children's books I've been like reading, to my daughter, so, and they're very animated and cool like that. So, yeah, the caterpillars just kind of came out of the last week. I didn't make them the week before last, so I just prepared with what I had at my shop, with what colors I had, and decided on combinations with what I already had. And just basically kind of made it from scratch. Nothing specific, no special color orders or anything.
I did. I made one practice piece, timed it out and everything, finished with like 8 minutes left. And I was like, all right, there you go.
And how much time do you have left this time? 8 minutes? Or?
No, I had 40 minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had to do some prep here that I didn't have to do at home. So, yeah, I was flying a little faster than I thought I would.
This time I had nothing. I had like an idea of something I wanted to make, and then I wasted 2 hours trying to make that, and then I had another idea this morning of what I was gonna make, and I wasted an hour trying that, and then I just went with what I love to do, and that's make Sherlock, so.
Smoke rings from your lips, sudden tripped up on my words when I try. Haze-filled blaze from a cigarette phase brings a fog creeping into my mind. Oh, we need to contain it. Friends, we are playing. Fight back the urge to keep myself from saying, give me all your love. Give me all your love, don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give you all my love, give you all my love, just concentrate, let's break the rules. Blockades from mistakes I've made, rein me in, tear me up inside. The mess we'd make with the things at stake sure as hell put our lives on the line. Oh, come and dance with me, yeah. Oh, come and dance with me, yeah. Come and dance with me, baby, come and dance with me. Give me all all your love, give me all your love. Don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give you all my love, give you all my love. Just concentrate, it's time to break. Give me all your love, give me all your love. Don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give me all my love, give me all my love. Just concentrate, it's time to break. Give me all your love, give me all your love. Don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give me all my love, give me all my love. Just concentrate, it's time to break. Give me all your love, give me all your love. Don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give me all my love, give me all my love. Just concentrate, it's time to break. Give me all your love, give me all your love. Don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give me all my love, give me all my love. Just concentrate, it's time to break. Give me all your love, give me all your love. Don't hesitate, it's time to break. Give me all my love, give me all my love. Just concentrate, it's time to break.
Yeah, this is my first competition. I've been teaching some classes over the last year and a half, so I've kind of gotten a little bit used to the blowing glass in front of people and in a, a little quicker manner and trying to go really big really quickly. But 12 hours, timed, that was pretty crazy, I gotta admit. That was a little intense. But that's when the best comes out. The venue's awesome, man. This place is a party. People are so hyped to be here, and everyone's throwing down so hard. And yeah, I had a great time working next to Micro. Besides that shirt that he wore with an arrow pointing to me, saying I buy China glass and smoke oily dabs.
Sitting here, I don't know why I'm waiting. Made it clear I've done some contemplating. Sitting here and I don't know what I'm waiting for. Yeah.
I'm really just excited to be here. I've had like an amazing year. Just got to do my first solo show at the Emerald Glass Gallery. Got to leave the country for the very first time this year, and to literally come off the plane from Spain at Monday night. I showed up Monday midnight here and like jet lagged as shit, and had a basic idea, and I needed material, and then I found the material here and it didn't work for me. And to be able to shoot from the hip and create the piece that I did within the amount of time that I did, I'm really excited. I'm really proud of it. Like, I actually, as funny as it sounds, I like this piece this year more than last year's. It's the smallest piece probably in the competition, but it's my favorite that I've made in a long time. I feel a really good representation of my teamwork and what I love to make. Like, I love Sherlocks, and this piece to me is like, it shows my work very well. And last year was like a surprise to everyone, and this year I feel that I really did me. Yes, last year's second place win with Pipe Classic definitely helped me out a lot. It got my name out there. Like, people who'd never heard of me now were looking at me because I just took second place in the first pipe competition in America. And it definitely allowed me to have people look at me different and get in different spots. And it's just been awesome to have so much support and love throughout the community, from other artists allowing me to come into their studios and work, to the collectors accepting my work and me as an individual and supporting me. So I feel extremely blessed to be at this event again. And I felt blessed last year taking second place, and to be back, it's amazing. Like, what Tito and Michaela have started here is the basis of what other people do their flame off of, and it's really awesome to be a part of, and I'm grateful.
That's sick, dude. Thank you. Nice one.
What do you think of it?
I love it. It's like a little alien.
What is it? Where did it come from?
Came from Marklar. Yep, that's where it came from. Marklar.
Okay, so we talked about the having to wait 5 years to make sure we keep it fresh. But there is one way you can keep coming back, is if you win. If you win, you come back to defend the next year, and you can defend in perpetuity. If we could have a dynasty in Pipe Classic, if somebody comes and keeps winning. You know, I thought we were almost going to see that with AKM this year. When I was watching his piece, he was working on it, and he was in like the last half hour or so, and looking at his piece, it was spectacular. And the fact that he made it in 12 hours blew my mind. And I thought we were for sure going to see a back-to-back winner there.
Yeah, I think winning a big competition like the Pipe Classic, any glass blowing competition with a reputation like this is going to help you as far as people understanding who you are and what you're capable of, especially on the spot. It's a different beast than being able to work at home in your comfort zones, working in front of a crowd under pressure of time and new environment essentially to you.
Yeah, anytime you're working in a place that's not your shop, you gotta kind of get around some things. I'm used to a scut kiln. There's aim kilns here. I'm used to blowing glass in like 70-degree weather, so it's much cooler in my shop, and the heat gets to you for sure. But once you get going, and my bench gets a little messy, that's kind of what makes me comfortable, I guess. And then you're kind of just in the mindset that you're just blowing glass and you're doing your thing, and it's another day, and you're just trying to make the best thing you've ever made once again.
find yourself stuck inside the norm. The chance to start again, far away from here. You wanna be, you wanna be. Moving on to discover, fill the void and you'll see. What you needed was different than the things you had with me. International lover, because you need to flee. Deep inside, you're for me, you're for me. Claim that you're unhappy with this godforsaken place. I fear that you're concealing the truth. 'Cause you're leaving me behind. Never asked to join the ride. Confide in me, confide in me. Could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Step into your embrace at night. Where has all your passion gone? Don't leave me here hanging on. You should do what you need to do. Carry out and see it through. But what will ever come of us in this fleeting game of chance now? We're on to discover, fill the void and you'll see. What you needed was different than the things you had with me. International lover, because you need to flee. Deep inside, you're for me, you're for me. Moving on to discover, fill the void and you'll see. What you needed was different than the things you had with me. International lover, because you need to flee. Deep inside, you're for me, you're for me. I don't wanna rest till I have found it. I don't wanna wind up dying alone. There's no need to hide it. Yeah, we're all looking for one thing. Love. Sinking to the floor. I needed you, but you needed more. The time has come. Our time has come. Drop away with no return. The lessons in my head about being burned. I tried so hard. I tried so hard. But you gave up long ago. I was close, but I think I had the right to know. You messed me up. You messed me up. Oh, why must this be? I deserve someone to comfort me. I don't want
I wanted to get a little bit outside of what people really know me for, which is the skulls and stuff. And I really, I still brought a skull to it. I still brought the anatomy features to it, but it was a completely different subject matter that no one's really seen out of me yet. And I like to do that at a competition. I try and bring something that, you can guess all you want at home what I'm going to do, but you just might not know, because I don't want you to know what I'm going to make at a competition. It gives you the opportunity to prepare for it, and if you know that someone comes that's, only got one thing they can do, then you pretty much know how to prepare for them, So I don't want people to be able to prepare for me.
I clutch my chest, I raise my hand. Where is the God? What is the plan? Push down my foot, pick up my speed. Where is my home? Why must I run? I don't wanna rest till I have found it. I don't wanna wind up dying alone. There's no need to hide it. Yeah, we're all looking for a day. Lord, yeah, I'm talking about
Throw that shit in there. Come on, open the fucking
We had about just under a minute this morning, and we were allowed to use because we finished about just under a minute early. So within that minute, I lined up my piece with the saw and just did a direct cut, took the whole bottom portion off. My functional pipe is still intact, and everything is basically all still there. May not be as pretty as I'd like it, and it certainly doesn't have the grandioseness of the large piece standing on the legs and the pedestal and all of that, but it's still in the running, and I'm still proud of what I've done.
Okay, so now we have the whole event. We have structure. It's working. But now, how are they going to be voted on? Because that's, fairness in a competition. The voting has a lot to do with the fairness, but the true fairness in a competition is the way it's run. But needless to say, we still had to have a fair voting process. So what we came up with is we would sell judges pass to the community. The way I figured it is the more judges, I feel like the more fair outcome you're going to have, rather than kind of the traditional 3-person panel or a 5-person panel that would vote on this and choose the winner. Our industry is too young. Everybody knows each other too well. It just didn't work in my mind. So we sold judges passes to the community, to whoever would want to come, and now it's a cross-section of a ton of glass blowers, glass buyers, store owners, collectors. They all make up the judges, and we sell judges pass. They're all numbered, and so one judge gets one vote, and we can tell you exactly who voted for who thanks to the numbering system and the tracking. At first there was, the first thing somebody came up to me and said that there was a problem with it was the, glass blower comes and he brings his whole entourage and they all vote for him. Well, interestingly enough, so after the first couple of years, I took a really close look at that and I wanted to see is that happening? And the strangest thing, I was really surprised that almost every competitor who would come with his posse from his shop, every single person that came with him would vote for someone else. That person would not get one single vote from the people that came with him. It was actually working like opposite. It was very interesting. So I think that's the fairest way to do it. One vote, one judge, one vote, and that's how it goes down.
Like a 10 of 10 on the stress level for sure. It ended up okay, but I pulled a milli for my heat for the first part, and it was just kind of an immense amount of heat and all that stuff. And airflow right around there wasn't super hot because there was a ton of people in the gallery that day, so that definitely didn't help my situation any. But I managed to get the milli pulled down pretty nice, and then second day I started to have some trouble. Like, I used a piece of shot Duran accidentally, and I typically am like pretty loyal to Cymax, so like kind of getting some of these parts of the shape ended up a little bit more difficult than I wanted them to, but in the end I was just like honestly so happy to have it finished. The piece isn't cracked, it's like technically 100% there, so it was good, but yeah, no lie, it was 10 of 10 for the stress.
Pipe Classic 10. A decade of classics. Yeah, guys, when we started this thing, we didn't think anybody would give a shit. We just did it for, we just did it for our glass family. And, to make an event that truly celebrates glass pipes. And look what it's become. Thank you all. All the new faces, the ones who've been coming for years, thank you. All right, so I gotta thank GTT. They've been sponsors since day one. Without them, this event may not even exist. This year, they gave us 2 sick torches for number 1 and number 2. Number 1 wins the Samurai. Number 2 gets the Ninja. Truly badass torches. Thank you to those guys, man. Without them, we wouldn't have it.
Yeah, GTP.
Give it up. Also, Gustavo from Formula 420 and The Big Show. He's been an executive sponsor for years, but every year he also kicks down an ad in the Buyer's Industry Guide for every competitor. And actually, the top 3 get an actual booth at the Big Show in Denver. So thank you, Gustavo. I always got to mention Eric from Bern and Sharon from Bern, Long Island, who have, wherever you are. Yeah. And you two have truly become some of my best friends. And if you catch me later, I'll tell you a story about Sharon you guys will love. Also to Nick from Glass Roots. He sponsored, but also went above and beyond and paid a bunch of monies to make sure everybody had a good time. So that was super, super sweet. Thank you, Nick. Kevin from Hot Breath couldn't make it. He's definitely going to get a lot of shit for that. And but somebody's got to tell the story, so it's so important. Thank you, Kevin. Also, my boy Mike from Mood Mats and the Stoke family, Flow Magazine also helping to tell the story. AGE, in the crowd we finally got Joe from Mountain Glass. Nice to finally have him. Yeah. Barry from EU, he couldn't possibly come any later, but at least he made it. And hopefully you guys all got to meet Bonnie from North Jersey Diamond Wheel. She's a new addition, and hope all you guys get to meet her. She's super nice. Also this year, Kelly Katana and Johnny New Orleans, who helped feed us all week. Super important. And then, it's hard for me to remember a Pipe Classic without Dosh. Like, in the very beginning, we realized real quick that we needed a spiritual advisor for this event. And he couldn't make it this year, but thank God he passed the duty on to Brendan Taylor. So if anybody needs any spiritual advising, he's your man right there. All right, so let's get to it. The winners, please. So actually, first we always do Glassblowers Choice Awards. So this is when the 12 competitors all vote on who their favorite piece was, and it's really just about honor. But you do this year, if you are that lucky winner, you get this fine red balloon, and the creepy doll that Brendan Taylor found for everybody. That will be yours. Oh yes, oh yes. All right, Glassblower's Choice, Pipe Classic 10. Max Kine. That's all you, brother.
This right here is what it's all about.
Kinda. All right, now we get to this is the moment we've all been waiting for. So third place, Pipe Classic 10. Wins $1,000. Gorman. Thank you. There's your cup, baby. Oh yes, and every competitor gets this mood map from Mike, and he blew it. All right, second place. wins the GTT Ninja. Who could it be? What do you know? He doesn't have to walk far. Max Kind.
Praises to all them people out there. I did this for you, and for you, and for you, so we can all get high together. Woo!
All right, this is it. This is it. First place, Pipe Classic 10. Who could it be? This guy, he waited his 5 years in between the last time he was here. He became eligible again, came back and fucking dominated. Yushin takes the cup. Get up here.
Wow, I'm just blown away. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Thank you guys so much. Seriously. Amazing.
All right, guys, it's been a long week, but that's it. So, yo, anybody who's serious about this auction, at 7 o'clock back at the Bern Gallery, we'll auction these pieces off, and then that's it, guys. We did it.
That rocked the house right.
Wow.
Wow, that really fucking rocked it out.
That was really fun.
You okay?
Yeah, that just hit my tongue.
Landed right on my big fat head, but it worked. I don't know what to do with it. I'm not a musician technician. Okay. Someone needs a ladder, but not this guy.
Well, the sun she spreads light all across my town. Summer's drifting away. I've been holding for so long, but the time has come to finally shout and let it out. Rack my brain for a while, questions piling in my head, trying to figure it out. Where is life gonna take me? What should I do? Pick up the pieces and move on. I'm just trying to be heard. Need your full attention to every single word. I am gonna do what I wanna do what I wanna do. Keep on pushing through. Listen closer to my words, screaming at the top of my lungs so I am heard. I am gonna do what I wanna do what I wanna do. Keep on pushing through. Money doesn't solve it all, it can steal your heart, leave you searching till the end. Well, I'd rather die than to follow something other than my passions and dreams. What's the motherfucking point of investing in yourself where your heart?
Film or camera?
Film! You are being recorded!
No paparazzi, please.
Attention to every single word. I am gonna do what I wanna do what I wanna do. Keep on pushing through. Listen closely to my words, screaming at the top of my lungs so I am heard. I am gonna do what I wanna do what I wanna do. Keep on pushing
nifty 50 $90 gem. You're a great lens. You'll always be a great lens. May you rest in peace. What a fucking piece of shit.